Stepped up to the house party, kinda faded. J's on mask on, yeah, I'm kinda basic. You stood out, Halle Berry cut amazing.
Watching myself. What you said it was Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
What's it about?
Curb Your Enthusiasm. A really good show. In fact, the writer or the main actor in the show wrote Seinfeld. So it has that same kind of...
Okay. I was never really big on Seinfeld.
I wasn't either, but...
I feel like that's a kind of comedy that's not for me, if you know what I'm saying.
I definitely understand that.
But what is for me to do right now is to thank you guys for tapping in. Hope you enjoyed the first half of the playlist.
We are back.
We are back. Week 43. 43.
Yeah, that's 43. Week 43.
That's crazy.
Energy.
You guys have been with us. We're almost at 50. Maybe we'll do something special for 50.
Yeah,
week 50.
We gotta plan that out.
Yeah. Shout out to Henri and his team for quarterbacking the play always.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to God for the gifts and the talents.
Amen.
And
Amen.
we got some things we want to talk about.
Listen,
There's a lot been going on.
I know we said it in the intro, but we're missing the
Deals.
third member.
HD.
Yes, sir.
Hollywood Deals.
Yo, listen, shout out to the Thomas family.
Yes, sir. That's my fam.
We love y'all, man. And we appreciate everyone that takes the time to tune in. But guess what? We got some topics that we decided we want to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Because, some people, I try to figure out why people do what they do. Mm-hmm. And then I realize, okay, maybe it's because you got money. Maybe it got to be because you got money.
Money solves a multitude of problems.
Many things.
And it can cause some problems, too.
Especially if you don't know how to use it.
So, what's going on?
It could destroy you. It could submerge you.
I see what you did
there.
So,
unfortunately, when was it? February 18th?
No, it was just last week.
I was just reading. I don't know why I got that date from. So scratch that.
Yeah, scratch that.
Scratch that.
If you're talking about what I think you're talking about, that was just like a week ago.
No. But what did happen is a bunch of millionaires decided they want to go see the Titanic in waters.
Go ahead. I have a habit of cutting y'all off. I don't want to cut y'all off, but I want to give a shout out real quick.
Now I'm so excited to find out.
It was a stupid shout out. Shout out to James Cameron because the Titanic movie was a great movie. If you have not seen that movie, it's a couple hours long, but you need to check it out. If you want to see the Titanic, I recommend you go and watch that movie. But continue.
Speaking of that, I'm gonna bring that point up. But anyway, so there was a vessel called the
Titan.
Mm-hmm. This company called OceanGate created a quote unquote ride.
Yeah, tourist
that would allow
attraction.
you exactly to see the Titanic. Now, if people don't know, Titanic at I believe the 1920s was at the time the largest ship ever made, ever to cross the seas
at that time.
So it was an epic time when this ship decided to sail.
It was an epic failure.
Epic it was. Unfortunately, it sunk. And it is so far down.
12,000
More than about 12,500 feet from what I remember.
Okay, with the stats?
Yeah, I just read it.
Okay.
But it was around that type of depth in the water. Mm-hmm. This is the type of depth that is so strong when it comes to pressure that unfortunately for these people that decided to go down there, imploded.
Well, let's go back to this. I'm
giving you the
play.
Good play. We're gonna break it down a little bit, but unfortunately, people lost their lives due to the fact that they wanted to go see the Titanic.
So OceanGate created a company that does like a tourist attraction where you can go see the Titanic 12,000 feet below sea level. And what had happened was to get on this ride, you have to pay $250,000 per person. And then they take you down in this submersible made of steel and carbon fiber glass.
Correct.
It's
supposed to be able to withstand the pressure.
It is supposed to be, but it's not really been tested. And most submarines and other kinds of submersibles pretty much just use steel. But the billionaire who created this company, OceanGate, there's rumors that he had kind of rushed the process along and did some testing, but when a whistleblower from the company a couple of years ago said that they don't feel safe that it's it's reliable enough to go that far down. They were fired. And here we are. A young man and his father.
Who I heard, sorry to cut you, did not want to go.
The young man didn't want to go?
Did not want to go.
So why would you make your child go?
That's a whole nother story.
I mean, I understand for the experience, but
if my child, that's my lineage. Like, I don't want to put your hands and your life in my hands, knowing that you are the extension of my life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
So if you, who I would love to be, this was a nice trip, father and son moment, right? To be able to bond. But this is also a trip that someone who else made this voyage before said, I'm willing to take a sacrifice because I know I may not come back. All right? This is a major trip.
Yeah, they say that on the first page of the disclosure or whatever you have to sign, there's 4 or 5 lines where it says you could possibly die. So the risk was known before they went down on this submersible.
Yeah, there was a waiver signed prior to, but
yeah,
I mean,
and so what happened was apparently on Sunday it had begun its descent down towards the Titanic. I believe they said it was like a 4 or 5 hour descent down to get to the Titanic. And about 2 hours in, the submersible lost radio contact with the ship that was at sea level. And there was a mad dash. There was a scramble to find out what was going on. The Coast Guard was brought in. Different countries and their resources, machines, Coast Guard, airplanes, all kinds of equipment was brought in to kind of figure out what was going on. It was rumored that there was a banging was heard, every couple hours, which led people to believe that the people that had gone on the trip, the owner of the company, and then 4 other guests were still alive. So that was the rumor that they said. But there was a lot of concern because based off of what they said, they would only have 4 days worth of air. So by, I think it was Wednesday morning or Thursday morning, if they had not been found, it was a wrap. And even if they had found them, let's say they had found them, just a few hours before, their air had run out, to pull them from so far down in the ocean with that kind of pressure, it couldn't be a quick ascent to the top. It would have to be a slow, gradual. But it was found out that their ship had imploded, and what they said is based off of the pressure, what had happened once the submersible could not withhold the pressure, what would have happened was that suddenly within 30 milliseconds, the heat inside of there would have gotten to
hotter than the sun.
And that within seconds it would have imploded on each other. It just would have.
It's like when a can just crushes itself.
Yeah,
like
just that quick.
So there's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of questions that people have. Mm-hmm. One is a X-Files question. Exactly. I'm gonna play the music right now. You're gonna hear it. So the question is, did it really happen?
I didn't hear that. I mean, no. They gone.
Yeah, listen.
Finito.
No, I that's what they're telling us.
So you think, are you trying to say that
they even go down there at all? Is this a story that, what is the bigger picture here? Right?
Yeah, and because I think the people that were on the submersible were some movers and shakers. Yeah.
People
movers and shakers
that were able to make a run to the bottom of the. What I hear people say, why do you have to literally go down there? Why don't you then? So this is some of the details that we heard about this the Titan. First of all, it doesn't even have an opening or a window that you could see the Titanic.
It did. It had a small window on the one end.
That was not able that you. In fact, it wasn't able.
At that depth, you can't see anything.
So you would need a screen.
Yep.
Which means, some people say, why don't you get a camera
and just drop it down?
Go as close as you can. Realize, hey, listen, if we go any further, we're going to die. So what we're going to do is use a camera anyway, because that's what we're going to have to use anyway. And we'll use this camera to get the best views or shots of the Titanic.
That's all great. But when you have money and you have resources and you just have money to blow and capitalism is king, why not create a company to take people down there? Why not blow $250,000, which is the equivalent maybe a couple hundred to individuals like ourselves, and go down there? Why not? But yeah, it's the loss of life is not something that anyone's happy about. There's a lot of controversy because, like I said, there were a lot of resources brought in, not just from the U.S., but other countries to try and find out what happened. And just a few days before, there were several hundred migrants who had sank, whose ship they were trying to cross from Libya or something like that,
North Africa to
Greece.
Yeah,
they were from, what we say, Palestine, Egypt. There were some immigrants, and their ship sank, and the amount of resources that were put into retrieving them was not on the same magnitude. So 5 people with billions is worth more resources from countries than several hundred immigrants who are seeking asylum to get away from some of the craziness going on.
Live a better life.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, maybe it's not that deep, but literally it is.
Pun intended. Yeah,
it really is that deep, and I'm trying to figure out. Really, you don't have anything else to do with your money.
Well, listen, this is not the first time the Titan had gone down there, Dre. The Titan had gone down, and it had some successful trips down there, but it wasn't tested how many trips it could take before the pressure would do what it did. And so I'm sure they ran tests and stuff beforehand, but by and large, they're saying that the material that they used was not as well tested. And personally, I don't care what they did with their money. It's their money. They can do what they want to. What I'm saying is, the resources that the United States, France, and other countries put into finding them, and the resources that were put into the immigrants who lost their lives was not the same. And the rumor is that the immigrants, there was a distress signal that went out before the ship actually sank, and there was not a fast enough response. Perhaps because they were immigrants, and we know how the United States feels about immigrants right now, but I feel like that sentiment is traveling across to different areas of Europe when you're coming from predominantly Arabic or black countries. They don't want you there.
It's quite clear.
It's quite clear. So shout out, prayers
to all the lost people that have lost loved ones to this tragic submersion of life.
Speaking of submersion, somebody else who's going down is Zion Williamson in flames.
To be honest with you, I'm tired of talking about this young brother. But you know what? This is what I will say. Hard work will still put you in the limelight, even if you make mistakes.
What you mean?
Think about it.
He put in that work, clearly.
That's why I said hard work.
Hard work? Pause.
Hey, yo.
Super pause.
I meant the work that he put in to be a...
Okay, that's what I'm going to ask you to clarify, because he put in the work.
I respect it. To be a professional.
Choose your words carefully. Okay, thank you. Okay. Fellas, everyone, what we're talking about, Zion Williamson, he got caught out there a couple weeks ago with... I'm not gonna call her mistress because he's not married.
A young lady named Mariah or something.
That young lady. That lady word is being thrown out there too.
I've seen her on Instagram a couple of times, but
she got his name tattooed on her face.
Listen,
and now she's saying she's pregnant.
Says a lot. See, this is where I was saying, fellas, we need to make better decisions, man.
Choose wisely.
I listen. I get it. Sometimes we have another brain that decides to make decisions for us, right? But we have to understand, this is what I do. You know that moment of clarity that happens? You know that moment of clarity. Sometimes you got to go to that moment of clarity before that moment happens. And then guess what? You're like, wait a minute.
It's not worth it.
It doesn't work a lot, but trust me, it can help. So back to Zion. Listen, this guy's making poor decisions with women that unfortunately I saw recently she posted
pregnancy
showing
test.
that she is positive for pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
The question is it his?
Who knows? I actually have not seen him make a statement about it at all.
I think it's the wisest thing to do. I think that's the wisest thing he's done.
Yeah, because I think it's playing out. It's not really getting as much traction as you think it would have. I think it's hilarious. That's why we keep talking about it.
I'll be honest with you. From what I don't know too much about the brother, but I hear he's from a part of the country that's considered very country.
Carolinas? My family's from the Carolinas, bro.
There's certain. Yeah, it's the country. It's the country. All right, my parents are from Jamaica. There's parts in Jamaica in the country. It's different. Okay.
Yo, North Carolina's getting a lot of love right. There's a lot of people moving to the Carolinas because you can get a lot more money for if you're purchasing a home and stuff like that. But
we're gonna talk about traveling in a minute. But until then, Zion, listen.
Shape up, bro.
Bro, get it together, man.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna need that money. She looked like she's ready to take.
She looks horrible. She looks. I don't know what he saw in her.
This is why I'm saying, like, you know what? Brothers that make wise choices, or at least make choices with women that are. I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah, I don't know what you're about to say, but I'm not gonna spend no more time on it. I thought it was interesting to bring it up because he is going down. So let's throw him a life raft and try and save Zion. What else you want to talk about, man? Because we don't have too much time.
Well, listen, we just came back from a vacation.
Yes, sir.
Actually, before the vacation, BET Awards came up.
Okay.
All right, so I think that's something that I'm gonna be honest. I didn't watch it.
I didn't either.
I didn't.
Well, neither one of us, because we were in Colombia.
Yeah, which we're gonna talk about in a minute. But I did hear about the BET Awards, and I heard the success of it.
Yep.
They did give a Lifetime Achievement Award to Busta Rhymes.
Shout out to Busta, legendary.
And I'm glad I saw that because I am
a fan.
Oh, and I was a major supporter of Busta Rhymes. I mean, he is one of the ones that helped me look at backgrounds differently when it comes to ad libs. Yeah, he'll record his background vocals at least 3 or 4 times.
I feel so supreme.
You know what it is.
But that's a problem.
That energy. He actually gave a little speech on how, he got kicked out of
the group, Leaders in the New School.
And I didn't know that.
Yeah, he gave the speech was about 10 minutes long.
Yeah,
I'm glad they gave him the time.
He was only given 2 minutes.
He took what he needed.
Because
he deserved his flowers.
Exactly. And it was good to see that all the hard work that you put in is recognized by your peers.
I will say this. I enjoyed watching Morris Day perform. I enjoyed the Migos performing. That was great. I think, Dre, you said there's like some fake beef between them, whatever, but that was a great performance. Shout out.
It's good to see them coming back together. Then, we just lost Takeoff. So.
Yeah. And then Patti LaBelle, there was some going on with that. Her performance was...
Listen, I watched it, bro. We watched it.
Yeah, we watched it.
Right, we watched that. And
that wasn't on her.
The way they made it seem like Patti LaBelle just flat out didn't do her
that wasn't
part.
The case.
This woman has been doing this for 50 years.
She did her thing.
Now, I can understand this. I'm sure there's going to be times when, you're going to have some mechanical difficulties, things that you as an artist, as the performer, can't control.
Yeah.
But guess what? You still give a show.
And she gave a show. Like, even though you could hear that things weren't in sync and things weren't right, she still kept going. A couple times she said, I can't read the words, but she said, come on, y'all, I'm trying. And I appreciate the honesty. She kept it real. But there was a great performance, yeah.
Listen, this woman is still in heels performing and singing the way she is. Listen, I kudos, flowers to Patti LaBelle.
Yes.
And all that you've done, and your accomplishments. You know what I mean? Like, women like her, they don't make them like that no more.
No.
Now, I'm going to keep it 100.
Legendary. And she make a mean sweet potato pie.
How you know, bro? Listen.
Because I eat them sweet potato pies. That's a whole other story. I like them sweet potato pies, Doc. But listen, we running out of time. We got a lot more to talk about.
We do.
Y'all gonna have to tune in next week. We're coming back though, obviously, but we're gonna play some more music, give y'all some vibes, and then
stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. We'll be back in a little bit.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Anyway, got a text from Dre, told me to get dressed and be on my way. Yeah, pulled up to the scene with it, and I'm super clean with it.